What if my name was Samantha? Yeah, I think that's a good way to start the video. Despite what the 13 videos I've made on bar rescue may tell you, it's not often that I bend to the will of my audience. So today, I'm going to break the status quo and make my third video on hotel hell. Hotel hell is like kitchen nightmares if you replace the kitchen with a hotel and the nightmares with hell. And hold on, I know what you're thinking. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Trust me, I wish there was a better way to describe this show, but that is quite literally the premise of every single episode, and I love it. Last time we took a look at Karen and the Town's Inn, a somewhat controversial episode, but a banger nonetheless. That episode felt like Gordon Ramsay discovering mental illness for the first time. I had my first Gordon Ramsay mental health related crisis when I watched him make that grilled cheese. And I had my second one watching today's episode, which takes us to a cult classic location, the Juniper Hill Inn. Discussed as one of, if not the best location on Hotel Hell, the Juniper Hill Inn brings us an absolutely jaw-dropping storyline. So juicy that they had to split it into 2 episodes. But is it really that entertaining, or did the network just want more money? Probably both. But let's find out today. First, go ahead and take a look behind me. You probably can't tell, but this house is actually a quaint, local bed and breakfast. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I know that it's local? Well, folks, because I've lived across the street from it my entire life. Don't show that, actually. To this day, the furthest I've stepped onto this property is not at all. However, I do know that business is booming because I've seen people go in and out of this place for at least the past 20 years. The place has, hundreds of positive reviews. Dare I say, shining, and hey, I'm not surprised. It's a great area, okay? Still not telling you where. Let's do the show.
I'd love to own an inn in a setting like this. If you get it right, you'd make an absolute fortune. Before I get to Juniper Hill, I want to find out what the townsfolk think of their local inn.
Oh, well, that's new, Gordantha. Usually he starts things off by pulling right up to the hotel while making as many observations as he can about the exterior.
The Roosevelt Inn, bed and breakfast. It's like something out of the Addams Family. The place looks grim from the outside.
Today's approach is different, though. He's gonna go around town and hear from the locals first, so that when the owner inevitably tries to gaslight him later on, he already knows what's up. When you spend a few years exploiting the mentally ill on reality TV, you tend to learn a couple things, okay, folks? Upon his arrival, Gordon discovers that the front door to the inn is locked. So now we can listen to him complain about the same thing in 50 different ways.
You're kidding me.
It's locked. That's not very welcoming.
Why would you have a big mansion that guests can't arrive through the front fucking door? Jesus. Who wants to enter through the back door?
Before we go any further, though, let's meet the owner, Robert Dean, a man with the name of a porn star and the character design of a pedophile. Luckily, he isn't either of those, as far as I know. But one thing we do know about him is that he is a major collector of fine antiques, as he would probably put it.
This looks like it could be a beautiful room, but you can't tell because it's stuffed with so much clutter. That's the reception desk?
No,
My God, so what is that?
that is our bar right now.
You are kidding me. This is the bar.
Yes,
With what, that?
martinis.
Martinis. Oh, God bless him. What is that for?
I'm
Were you
sorry.
born with
I
this in
thought
your-
we were talking about antiques, not priceless artifacts. This seems to be a trend with the innkeepers on Hotel Hell. You know, they just love showing people their shit. They always want to do one small part of owning a hotel and nothing else. It makes no sense. Like the murder mystery one. There are about 1,000 other places you can do this exact thing that doesn't require you to cook and clean and house and maintain and pay bills. Part of this problem is that there's almost always an equally idiotic financial party that's funding these monstrosities with such little regard for sanity. I don't know, you could almost call it a debt fetish. We'll chat about that guy in a bit, but we need to get past at least the lobby here.
Beautiful room.
And,
this is a beautiful room, but what is that smell? I mean, seriously.
it does smell.
Yeah, that smells shit. I mean, that is horrific. Oh my God, it smells like sewage.
Reality TV showrunners have always been bad at manufacturing steaks, but for some reason, I feel like no matter what the show, they always turn to something smelling like shit. Literally every single type of show. The freezer smells, the bedroom smells, the vent smells. All of these people probably smell, but that's how they gaslight us, folks, okay? You know what I mean? When the gas, stinky, touches the light, you can't see it. So it may as well be true. I mainly bring this up because it's the only issue that Gordon has with the room. Otherwise, he thinks it's a beautiful room.
Beautiful room.
He then describes the hypothetical of staying in the room as, quote, $350 to be caked in shit. An idea that becomes more repulsive with each passing thought. I've never seen him have more of a love-hate relationship with a space.
That was a welcome breath of fresh air on the back of that disgusting smell of crap in that room. I can't believe it. And the rooms are gorgeous, and yet how could you have a room that has been smelling for months that bad, and then he sticks me in it? What a muppet.
As Gordon settles in downstairs to have some lunch, he meets this server, Barbara, who lets us know that Robert never pays his employees on a consistent basis and is actually incredibly stingy, citing her last paycheck of $48. What type of pain do you have to be put through in your life to willingly accept your own demise? If I were her, I'd have to take a beta blocker just to pick up the envelope. This is so horrible, dude. Look, I know we're going to be doing a lot of goofing around here, but I'd be remiss if I didn't point out the elephant in the room here, okay? Now, you see, guys, normally here, any other YouTuber would have made some elephant in the room joke, maybe placing an elephant in the background or like being outside instead of being in a room so that the phrase doesn't work. But I don't do that. I'm just going to use the phrase. The horror continues as Gordon is faced with a priceless prefix menu, which we eventually find out actually costs $59. So at this point, you're probably wondering, what's this guy's deal? And who the fuck would come here?
We're reservation only, though, so nobody walks in. We don't have walk-in.
How can you expect to appeal to the locals?
We haven't identified the appropriate people to come here, or
Hold on a minute. What do you mean appropriate people? Hold on.
people who can afford $59 for 3 courses.
There it is. Let's see. It only took, like 13 minutes. You always know the episode is about to ramp up when they finally reveal what variant of batshit insane the owner is. And look, I'm not here to diagnose, but what I can say is that this guy is delusional. Because while Robert's high-quality, pre-screened customers dine at his tables and shit on his floors, apparently, he's shacked up outside with his brainless sugar daddy in their $100,000 RV. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. My apologies.
We don't live in an RV. It is a motor coach, which is the higher-end version of an RV. It is that psychological break for us, and it gives me a place to relax and kind of unwind. I actually love it. I could live there the rest of my life, to be honest with you. It's quiet, it's clean.
Oh, yeah. So we're just devolving by the second with this one, folks. You can never trust a guy that wears his polo shirts completely unbuttoned, Why are you so worked up, huh? It's like noon. I also just don't fuck with polo shirts in general, so there's that. Anyway, back to that $59 prefix that no one's buying. It's ass. So bad. If I put a plate of greens in front of Gordon Ramsay and he treated it like finger food, I'd do something so awful, they'd have to put it in history books.
I'll take responsibility for everything that happens in the kitchen.
You don't own the place. You own it, yet he's acting more responsible. What do you earn a week, if you don't mind me asking? $1,000?
Before taxes, $400.
Good God. Chef Julian is the poor bastard in charge of throwing these meals together. And if I were making $400 a week pre-tax, I would cook the worst thing I possibly could too. One of the items on the menu is a rack of lamb encrusted in macadamia nuts, garnished with herbs and Dijon mustard, served with a honey vinegar reduction. Who are you making this for? Chef Julian is required to make that dish, hypothetically, multiple times in a day on, correct me if I'm wrong, less than the salary of a fast food worker. Robert, today we're gonna have burgers, okay? And we're gonna do that every day.
Everybody is disgusted that you live in that thing. They really are. because it costs so much money and they can't get their paycheck on time.
But
We are surrounded by wealth and reminded of poverty at the same time because of that RV.
Well,
it's a symbol. To me, that RV is a symbol. And it's a symbol that you're separating yourself from everybody else.
I'd be very careful about coming down on me too hard.
Or what, you're gonna fire him? You're crazy. Yeah, they call him the executive chef, but as far as I'm aware, he's the only chef. Awesome threat, though. Good try.
Well, I just got a new asshole ripped to me. Gordon says that I live in a fantasy
Why doesn't he have Gordon just step inside of the RV? I don't understand. It's absolutely gorgeous. If he saw even an ounce of this pinnacle of wealth, I'm sure he would be kissing your feet. Oh, I'm sorry. What's this? Is that a Gordon Ramsay cookbook? Yep, this is Gordon Ramsay's In the Heat of the Kitchen. In what way was skimming one Gordon Ramsay cookbook going to help you prepare for this experience? I just don't understand. Also, I think that dog needs more walks. He's tweaking the fuck out in the corner. I'm sorry. It's not my dog. Not my rules. Recently, I sought out to make my dreams come true and make the website that I've always wanted to make about horses. And when I hit a point of struggle, I thought that there was nowhere else to turn. That is until I found Odoo, the sponsor of today's video. Odoo website is changing how people think about website design. Thanks to its user-friendly and intuitive interface, you can create, manage, and customize your website effortlessly. Let's say you want to make precise adjustments to your layout, add filters and effects to pictures, animate an element. Guys, that's no problem, okay? You can do all of that and more directly on the page with building blocks, like I just did. I just did it. I showed you. Your website is also free forever with the one app free plan, including hosting, unlimited support, and maintenance. No ads or limits. So why not join 12 million users who are successfully growing their businesses right now with Odoo? Why? Yeah, create a free professional website today in minutes with Odoo using the link in the description. Okay, now back to the video.
Barbara's been shorted checks a lot.
She's barely earning $100 a week. And
Yeah, and he won't pay her. And then if he had a private party with all his friends, he didn't tip them.
You're kidding me.
No.
That's just disgusting. I mean, that's where I draw the... You can't do that.
No.
You just can't treat people like that.
This is the former head chef of the Juniper Hill Inn, and after a brief conversation, it becomes clear that Robert is definitely withholding money from his employees to keep himself afloat. I always find it funny when shows set situations like this up as reparable, because absolutely not. I don't care how much improvement is done in this process. Withholding money from employees on top of slacking off and making it their problem doesn't really seem like a, oh, sorry, I won't do it again type of situation.
I'm here to make this place work. The first thing I'm going to do is burst his bubble.
I'd like to be a fly on that wall, but...
Would you come back and walk through the doors to have a look at it at the end of the week and just come back for dinner?
No.
Oh, yeah, there you go. She's got the right idea.
No.
A couple missed checks is one thing, but it's every employee every single time. This guy, Ryan, the estate manager, hasn't been paid in over a month. So a collective anger is warranted. However, Gordon, in a narration, makes the generalization that the entire staff wants to kill Robert.
And the rest of the staff want to kill Robert.
Which no one has outwardly stated, even in exaggeration. So I think that one's just a projection. Ryan takes Gordon around the property to show him all the unused junk that's piled up in various storage areas. He's also raising pigs. I'm not sure how he's finding time to manage that. But we still have yet to meet the mysterious man who's funding all of this. Robert's partner, Ari.
So, how much money have you put into this business personally?
More or less over $1 million.
$1 million. And how much have you seen back?
Nothing. It was all my severance packages, my income that when I was working, and then my retirement plans. Robert's savings are in artwork and antiques. I have supporting this in with my savings.
Okay. Not a single part of that justifies you doing this.
This place, it's dreamland, a playground for your boyfriend, Robert. Your biggest problem is not Juniper Hill. Your biggest problem is fucking Robert.
Fucking Robert is his biggest problem. Gordon, I don't really think that's your place, man. Gosh. Well, folks, we're about 30 minutes in here, and I've already forgotten that this is a place that opens to the public, and it's a shame. They really shouldn't. Robert and Ari start the evening by seating everyone at the same time, giving Julian, who, reminder, is the only chef, an impossible workload. On top of that, you've got Ari alone in the dining room, torturing the guests by being the least charismatic person on the planet.
This is from 1800, and it was painted for opera house, because you know what it is.
What is it?
Come on, everybody has to know what that is. It's a Hannibal going across the Alps with the white elephants. Everybody should know that.
Oh my God, look at that guy. I'm glad to have gained some optics on the demographic Robert's looking for here. Wow. I need to get like this.
This place is such a mess. Clearly, Robert has no idea how to run a hotel.
It took you that long to realize? Guys, I don't think I've ever been more confused by a night one on any reality show ever, okay? Julian's crashing out. Servers are writing actual gibberish on tickets. The bar has somehow lost 30 drink orders. At this point, I'm having trouble believing that this place has ever actually hosted a single customer. Also, like, didn't we already establish that the menu is shit? I don't know what we're doing right now.
Well, when I try to communicate, he says, yeah. No, I can't do it.
No, he doesn't. Fucking
do
find
it.
your balls and tell him you need to talk to him.
I found my balls. Do I want him to walk out?
Well, he's not going to walk out if you communicate with him. Talk to him then.
Well, I have been trying to.
Oh, I forgot to mention, even though the former chef touched on it before, guests of the inn at this point in time mainly consist of friends of Robert, and allegedly they aren't even charged, which actually makes a lot of sense considering the lack of game time conditioning from the staff. I mean, why bother with efficiency when no one's paying you to be efficient? That being said, I'm not nearly as entertained by the chaos of the evening as I am the emotional breakdown at the end of the night.
Really, it's like I'm racing from thing to thing. Nobody knows what the other one's doing.
There's nobody here that is in control, willing to take charge.
I did 40 fucking dinners by myself tonight.
I could help you, and you've
Excuse
never
me?
asked. I can cook the rack of lamb.
Excuse me.
Bragging about
Excuse
making
me.
one plate is nothing to brag about.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
I am the boss.
Okay, first of all, so weird. Very scary. Second of all, you're the what now?
I am the boss.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's what I thought you said. Since when? I mean, yeah, Robert is barely capable of doing his job, but you don't do anything.
It's not all about you, Robert. Robert's world, Robert's bubble, Robert's dream. You're not the Lord of the Manor, and you're not the Great Gatsby. You're Robert. There's only me in here.
Excuse me.
Go on then, you pompous fuck.
Excuse me. Don't talk to me like
Well,
that.
what's wrong with it? I want to know what's
Don't
wrong with it.
speak to me like
Well, I'm
that.
telling you.
You
Get your
tell
head out
me.
your ass and start getting a little fucking real.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna do my best impression. Ready? Excuse me. He really could be one of the most delusional establishment owners I've ever seen on one of these shows. Aside from that, though, my only other question so far is, what kind of laws are we breaking here? I don't know. It feels like someone should be going down for this. A whole lot happens on this show, but it feels like they're never doing any of the things that they should be doing to improve their hotel in hell. That being said, night one and subsequently episode 1 are over. Before we move on to episode 2, part 2, what do you guys think of this piece? What animal is this? After an entire day of having the ego sucked out of him like one of those vacuum bags, you'd think Robert's dignity would be fully depleted. However, if you've ever watched any of these shows, you'd know that Gordon is going to milk this guy until he drops or squirt. Stop.
Robert had a slew of friends come and stay for free and eat for free for weeks at a time, and that's why they've been losing money since I've been here.
This is insane, and this is like a private club for him.
He's worked with the servers before and accepted a portion of the tips.
God damn, this guy sucks. And now we're walking the tightrope of the law. I can smell it. We're getting closer. That's the food service equivalent of being the person in the group project who does like one slide and then dips. This revelation makes Gordon so grumpy that he heads straight over to Robert's luxury motor coach to confront him. What we know now is that Robert is taking a percentage of the tips, but only on the nights that he works with the servers.
Why do you think you got a right to that?
I have tried to work with my staff to teach them that this is the way I want service done.
You're so bad.
I take a percentage of the tips based on the amount of work that I do.
And who does the books on those tips?
Ari. What I was saying wasn't getting through. So the psychology was that if I started to take tips, they would maybe pay attention to that.
That is insane. It's the worst management.
He is actively admitting to punishing his employees financially in an attempt to keep them in line. It is unbelievable that a person like this exists. The following claims only sour the situation. Apparently, some of Robert's friends aren't tipping at all. And when challenged on his ability to assert his needs, we accidentally learned the worst secret of all.
Sorry to piss on your bonfire.
Well, then I will call my friends and I will tell them, look, what happened?
You haven't got the fucking balls to call your friends and ask them to leave a tip.
Yes, I do.
Call them then.
Dana? Yes? It's Robert. You stayed here recently, and I was under the impression that you and Greg left a tip. Did you leave a tip?
I left some money with you.
No.
Yeah, so on top of the tip stealing, the guy's going around charging secret premiums for God knows what. This brings up the issue that I was talking about earlier. There is nothing that you can do in the next 30 minutes to make me like this guy. And similarly for the staff, this doesn't feel like something that you can get over in a couple of weeks. It is worth mentioning that the show is just exploiting a shitty situation for the most part. I don't think it was ever about saving this place, maybe the people.
I've come back. Not for you, but for the staff.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So new plan. We're here to give this one more try, but only for the staff. How are we going to do that? Sell everything. Remember, Robert possesses, to put it lightly, a massive collection of antiques, a collection that he believes is worth around $300,000. This is life-changing information. So Gordon calls in Amy, the head auctioneer at Bonham's, for an appraisal. Folks, let's see how we did.
What you have here doesn't read as a collection to me. It's kind of an accumulation. A lot of copies of things, or if they are of the period that they're supposed to be, there's some condition issues. I would say about 25,000.
Are you fucking joking? The layers to this man's deceit are frightening. It just doesn't stop. His whole everything is a lie. Like, how do you come back from this? Financially, emotionally, socially. I mean, socially, this would actually probably be a pretty good story if you were like a server. Okay, so if you're a true Hotel Hell fan, you've probably been quaking in fear the past few minutes with one question on your mind. Is he going to do it? For those who aren't familiar, Gordon is famous for doing something, I'd say every other episode. Honestly, it's a gamble. It's so treacherous that each time you watch an episode of Hotel Hell, you are signing up to potentially ruin your peace of mind for the rest of the day.
Before I get stuck in, there's one thing I want to try.
Oh my God. Oh, that one. Oh, that one's direct. Oh, I'll never understand it. I always forget about it, and then every 6 months I come back to this show, and it makes me sad. The fucking foot shot is, that is insane. It's all maniacal. Also, doesn't it smell like raw sewage in there? You gotta put the dogs away. Wow, what an emotional roller coaster. Antique show, straight into ass. Gordon likes to do this thing where he's like, hey, why don't you come on up to my room real quick? And it's like every person who's ever stayed there. Obviously, I can see how the in-person Yelp review is effective from a feedback perspective. I mean, this is about as direct as it gets. But then he always wraps it up with,
how do you feel?
Clearly bad. It's only been getting worse. I get it, right? I just don't like how the show passes this off as progress. Progress is not lectures and drama. Sometimes I wish Gordon would just swallow his pride and make the drama show that he really wants to make. John did it with Marriage Rescue, and as far as I'm aware, he has no credible expertise in that area.
I've asked Chef Julian to cook 3 dishes from Robert's expensive old menu and 3 new dishes of his very own creation. Once he's finished, we're going to pretend I cooked the new ones and see what Robert says. So, my menu or Julian's menu?
Your menu.
My menu. I'm flattered, but there's something I need to tell you. I didn't make any of this. Julian cooked everything.
What? No! So he's really just humbling him at this point, which, I mean, hey, if you're not going to make any progress, you might as well settle the score emotionally. I really want to talk about two more things, though, before we go. The first one being the remodel at the end of the process.
You ready?
We're ready.
In you go. Do you know what's wrong with this room? Nothing. You don't need to do anything to them. The only thing wrong was the smell in room 1, and the plumber's taking care of that.
Guys, the truth is, you don't need any more help. It's done. Honestly, I'm bored. Yeah, guys, way to pick shit up and put it somewhere else. I saw those chairs in that storage container last episode. The last thing I want to talk about is Ari. Rarely has he spoken, but when he has, it's been soulless and bizarre. From beginning to end of this episode, Ari seems completely unfazed and unchanged by anything going on around him. To the point where at the end of the episode, he's still being such a dick to the staff that Gordon has to tell him to stay out of the way. Their final interaction says it all, though. It's like we're meeting him for the first time.
Ari?
Copy.
I've come to say goodbye.
I was doing my
Looking after
paychecks.
yourself. You're writing paychecks?
Yes.
Good luck with the place. It's a business.
Absolutely.
Look after yourself. Look after Robert. And support him in all the right places.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
Yeah, nothing going on there. I should mention that by the end of the process, everyone on the staff is still struggling. Gordon just kind of leaves in the middle of the day. And to this day, the Juniper Hill Inn is no longer open. I'd assume this episode had a bit to do with sinking it. I love Gorjon Ramsay. Gorjon Ramsay. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see me watch more television shows that you think are funny, or more movies, or more things online that you like to watch and see, please leave a comment below letting me know in detail with your name and address what you would like to see. You should also subscribe after that. And because I literally can't think of anything else to say this time, until next time. There's another new item on my wall. Try and, sorry, I got the lighting really good here, so, you can see it's like a, can you see? You can't really see, but it's a crawfish claw. Wall rug. Okay, bye.